Trump appeals $450 million. New York civil fraud judgment. Lawyers for former President Donald Trump have formally appealed a New York civil fraud judgment that ordered him and Trump Organization executives to pay more than $450 million. The appeal is taken from each part of the judgment insofar as the defendants had been prejudiced. The appeal brief, filed Monday, noted, adding that the total fines amounted to more than $464 million. The appeal will be filed with the New York State Supreme Court, Appellate Division I. New York Attorney General Letitia James sued President Trump and other Trump Organization officials for fraud after a 3-month trial. New York Supreme Court Justice Arthur Engolan found all defendants liable on 7 claims. At the center of the trial were the Trump Organization's annual financial status reports. These were not official financial documents, but marketing materials used by executives to summarize asset values and calculate Trump's total net worth. The court found that these numbers were routinely padded and that by using these padded values in their transactions, they defrauded banks and insurance companies and placed them at undue risk. Defense attorneys claim that no party was harmed in this case and that there were no victims. Representatives of Deutsche Bank and Zurich Insurance Group testified that they conducted their own analysis when dealing with the Trump Organization. The fines include a $355 million fine against President Trump, $4 million each against Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump, and $1 million against Alan Weissenberg, the Trump Organization's chief financial officer. The fines are subject to 9% interest and are retroactive depending on the entity in question. The organization has also been assigned a third party, former Judge Barbara Jones, and an ongoing watchdog by the Risk Compliance Officer, and further penalties, including revocation of business certificates, may be imposed upon a report to the court. Weissenberg and former Trump Organization Comptroller Jeffrey McConney were also permanently banned from doing business in the industry, and President Trump was banned for 3 years. Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. were barred from holding any executive positions for 2 years. To appeal, President Trump had to pay a $400 million deposit or surety bond into an escrow account covering penalties, including interest. Last month, Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, told Fox News that it was no coincidence that the court ordered such a high bond, and that it was an amount he was prepared to pay. What they are trying to do in this case and the last case is put President Trump out of business. That's not going to work. Second, what they are doing is a scare tactic. Unfortunately, I think they picked the wrong guy. Shortly before the fraud verdict, President Trump was ordered to pay $83 million in another civil trial. Author E. Jean Carroll sued the former president for defaming her when he responded to her allegations that he sexually assaulted her in the 1990s, and a jury determined the fine after a brief trial in January. Legal scholar Jonathan Turley noted that the deposit rule magnifies the unfairness of this New York law that does not require someone to actually lose money in order to claim hundreds of millions of dollars from a corporation. He is one of many critics who question the heavy verdict against President Trump in a case in which no victims were named. In response to the verdict, New York Governor Kathy Hochul reassured businesses to stay in the state. The governor said on WABC 770 radio that law-abiding, rule-abiding New Yorker business people have nothing to worry about because they are nothing like Donald Trump or his behavior. Turley said that as long as it's not Trump, you're fine. This amounts to substantial reassurance, but that confidence in the objectivity of New York's business and legal rules remains shaky. Letitia James is now the face of New York corporate law, he wrote. Critics of the verdict accused the penalties of being excessive, and shortly afterward President Trump posted a screenshot on social media of the 8th Amendment, which states, "Excessive bail shall not be required, excessive fines shall not be imposed, cruel and unusual punishments shall not be inflicted."